Hey guys, what's up? This is GamerTacticz here. We are currently new to TGN, so this is our introduction videos. My name is Drew.
My name is Anthony.
And today we are going to be doing a podcast and kind of like a review on the new game that's coming out June 4th called Marvel Heroes. Now my first opinion to this game was blown away. I saw the game and I saw the trailer, and being a huge Marvel fan, I got super excited. What did you think when you saw the trailer?
When I saw the trailer, I was pretty hyped up for it. I liked the idea of it. You know, I wasn't really into Marvel. I wasn't a big comics fan, but I liked the idea of it. I do the whole superhero thing is okay with me. You know, I like Wolverine, Spider-Man, Hulk, those guys. They're pretty cool. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, hey. And about halfway through, I saw a T-Rex. And I was like, yeah, that dealt it. That seals the deal right there. There's a T-Rex. I want it.
Yeah. I did get a little put down when someone was mentioning...
pointing out some of the glitches were okay. Like, for instance, you're not supposed to be able to move when you're holding something above your head as the Hulk or anybody with superhuman strength who can lift objects, because not every character can. But the ones who can, you're not supposed to be able to move, but I found a way to make the Hulk slide, which is actually relatively entertaining in itself.
Yeah, it almost became a meme.
Yeah, because when we were live streaming, a lot of people were having fun with that, but the stuff like in the trailer, you see a lot of very, very well detailed characters, very, very well detailed boss fights, and very well done boss fights, and cutscenes look more interesting. But I guess you could give or take with this. The cutscenes were kind of like comic book cutscenes, I guess, if excerpts from the book itself, which I thought were okay. I wouldn't have minded a well-rendered cutscene for it, but you know, you get what you get. It's a free game after all. I mean, they can't probably put a whole bunch into just the cutscenes, and the character details weren't as detailed as they were in the trailers.
Yeah, well, I mean, they still have some stuff they can change, hero-wise. They just released Cable, and they released some costumes with him, which were pretty cool. And they've already said that they aren't working on the Human Torch until after June 4th when the game comes out. So I don't know if they're planning to come out with more characters later on. I hope they do. But yeah, the game, I felt it was a lot of fun, especially because when we were live streaming, there was a lot of people who were getting into it. It's one of those games where you might want to get a clan of people you are friends with, or go on Skype and do it with, because it adds a lot more fun to it. The game isn't as social as some games, maybe like RuneScape, or I don't know how active World of Warcraft is, but there are some games that are just a lot more interactive amongst players, and this game at times I felt like it wasn't all that interactive. How did you feel about that?
I thought that everything was relatively alright. You know, there's a lot of people running around, but they help you, but not very many people actually talk. Nobody that I was really around talked. On that part, it's very hard to contact other characters because you have to know their names. Say, if you're talking to a friend, like maybe you typing their name wrong, you can't like click the person. You can't click the avatar to, like, you know, bring up their name or anything like other MMOs have.
Yeah, and hopefully they will change that eventually.
But it's just, when I was having a hard time with that, there's like the party invitations and all this other stuff. The interface is very difficult, like, because to invite someone to a party to get into instance areas, because there's a lot of instance areas that it's just you. And if you try to take these instance areas on alone, you're more than likely gonna fail and have to repeat everything. Like, to get into a party, you had to type /party invite space in that person's name. If you were having a hard time reading that person's name due to the small font, or they're using circles or O's, zeros, whatever, something that looks like something else, because it's just sometimes difficult to understand, difficult to read. Other than that, you know, there was a lot of people on, at least for the open beta. I don't really know how well it is during the closed beta, because they only have it open during certain times. But I'm I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to come out when people are actually on and it's open and, you know, it's spread out a little more.
Yeah.
People actually know it's going to come out and see what they're going to do, especially after this video goes up and people from TGN see it. Maybe it'll get some more traction behind it and, you know, maybe light a fire under them to get it going with some of these changes.
Yeah. One thing I didn't want to say actually is you made a comment that's actually kind of wrong. If you do a instance area by yourself, all your progress, if you die, it stays there. So if you damage a boss, so everything can be done solo. You can go and, you know, keep fighting a boss with issues. Sometimes if you do it by yourself, you either have to be good at playing, good at boss fighting in the game, which sometimes boss fighting was a challenge, which I liked. Quite frankly, a lot of these games I've been playing recently, they have these boss fights, and the boss fights are just kind of disappointing. They're like really easy and they don't feel like a boss fight. But there was, I think it was Gorgon, I almost completely soloed. I actually started pretty much fighting by myself, and then someone else joined, but it took me like 15 minutes, and it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of challenges, but it was good challenges. So instance areas, if you do it by yourself, you can do it. It just means you might have to die and then run through the area again and pick up from where you died.
That really depends on the instanced area too, I think, because some of the instance areas you have to reload or leave again after you do, but like some of those, if you have to reload them, like there's not a waypoint where you saved at previously, those bosses don't come back full health because you're reloading the entire area. But the event bosses like Gorgon, Shocker, or was it Shocker? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Shocker.
No, Electro,
and Rhino. Those ones, also Venom on the docks, he's one of the first ones you might encounter because he kind of scared the crap out of me when I walked out and got one hit at like level 5. And it's just, those bosses, the event bosses, like everybody just piles on and they're so overpowered, it's not even funny because like they know that there's going to be a lot of people there. Like Gorgon, like as Drew was saying, he fought him by himself, but he was a higher level at the time and was able to hold his own. But when you're a lower level and you're first walking into that area and Gorgon's there as an event boss and just kind of appears, it's not very easy because he summons a lot of higher level minions to fight with. And it also depends on the character you have, because some characters are a lot better suited for fighting other ones. Like Gorgon is a medium to long ranged style because he'll sit there and launch beams out of his eyes that will petrify you, and if you can't dodge that, you're open up and you're susceptible to being attacked by him at close range, which is actually pretty strong because he's got his katana or whatever he was using, and his minions who'll just sit there and shoot you.
Yeah. But that's one thing that made it a lot of fun, is the bosses were challenging, and there were group bosses, so there were ones that were really difficult, but as a group they were a little easier, and sometimes you will encounter them when not a lot of people are on and it's basically by yourself, and it's fun to see what all you can do. I think I got to level 23 in about 2 days of playing it, for live streaming most of it for several hours. We kind of tested it out and we kind of played it quite a bit. So leveling isn't too bad, it's just every time you get a new character you have to level it. But on to the next question is replayability. And Anthony, what is your opinion? Like how do you think this game is going to work in replayability?
That's something I'm a little bit concerned about, because I don't know after the beta is going to be done whether or not they're going to wipe characters, because, you know, you're going to have a bunch of new characters who weren't in the closed beta coming in that didn't get a chance to make one on the open beta and play it like crazy, that you're just going to be overpowered, and there's like, you know, nobody's going to be really helping you. There's not much of a market area for that. Like, if they clear everything, everybody's kind of starting in the same area and everybody will be going a lot smoother. But on another side of that, it's all that work everybody's put into it is going to be gone too. And the replayability part mainly is how high is the level cap. Not only that, how high can you level your skills? Because I know for a fact that my Deadpool, I'm about halfway through his skill tree, and I'm only level 20.
Yeah, and that's actually something interesting that they talked about is ultimate powers. Apparently, you unlock them at level 30, and if you get a character drop, that's the character you currently have. So say I had Hulk, and he was level 30, and I had him had his ultimate stage, and I got a Hulk drop. Apparently, I could use my Hulk character, my second one, to strengthen my ultimate. Now, this I thought was interesting. At the same time, you know, some of these characters, you can buy them online for $20, which is a little bit pricey, but at the same time, the whole game being free and being able to get these characters for free, I can understand them pricing it for so much. At the same time, though, getting character drops aren't that common. Anthony got 2 character drops. Who did you get?
Scarlet Witch, and I believe it was Rocket Raccoon.
Yes. I got 1 in 3 days. That was Wolverine, who was pretty good. And as of right now, their character selection is kind of small. I'm hoping that they'll come out with more. I know this being a game that they take a long time to create characters, it'll be a little while, but I really hope we can see some characters like Gambit, or maybe even a expansion pack that's, you know, $20-$30 or whatever, how much they want to charge for it, where we can create our own Iron Man suits, because I feel like that would be fairly easy, and that would make the replayability quite a bit more, because, you know, if you can build your own Iron Man suit or create your own Iron Man character and start leveling up that, then people could have fun. And I also hope they make more missions. What is your opinion on future updates for
See, that's
stuff?
one of the things I actually wanted to cut into with. It's like, the character list is actually, I thought it was pretty decent. You know, this is cutting back a bit into replayability, because you're going to be able to level up those characters each to the max.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I feel like they kind of have to. I mean, they have the Thing and the Human Torch, but that's just 2 out of the 4 Fantastic Fours. You know, people are going to want to play as Invisible Woman at some point, and Mr. Fantastic, and I know those characters might be hard to add into the game because of Mr. Fantastic's stretchy abilities. He might not have the easiest attack forms, but I feel like if they put enough effort into it, they could add them. And you know, like, for example, the X-Men, they have quite a few of the common X-Men's, but, you know, coming from a big Marvel fan, I've read a lot of comics and I've seen a lot of cartoons, and if they have the time, I think it would be a lot more fun if they had, like, Jubilee,
Personally, I want to see Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, yeah, I've heard a lot of people ask for Nightcrawler. One thing that I did notice is Gambit is a character
NPC. He's an
NPC in the game. He sells cards which can give you a random thing. So I don't know if that means that they don't plan to. I know a lot of people who really, really want Gambit as a character. He's a really awesome character that I think they really should add. Is there any characters that you would want them to add?
Well, as I said, I want them to add Nightcrawler. I'm not sure. Like, I didn't see on the list. I don't know. Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman I feel like would be a good contribution for heroes.
And like Professor X himself, maybe. I don't know. Did I see Magneto in there?
No, it's Marvel Heroes, so as of right now,
Well,
they have no villains. I don't know if they're planning to. I feel like that could be...
Well, also, if you go, like, to one of the movie sides, at least, I know it's completely straying away from the complete, you know, comics side, but at one point, Magneto wasn't really a villain. He just didn't want to take the peaceful way out of things.
Well, and that's the thing with Magneto, is he's a character that's had so many background stories and so many different versions, where there are ones where you're supposed to feel sympathy for him. You're supposed to actually not see him as this villain, but more as the, you know, guy who's just kind of messed up in some opinions, and then there's the other versions of him where he's this villain who just wants to kill humans. So kind of something I kind of hope is that they do have maybe another expansion that you can pay for. If we have to do it, I'd be fine with that. But Marvel villains maybe, or something like that, where they actually do add villains, and then that could be like a PvP tournament where you have villains versus heroes.
You see, I think that would be a good idea, but I think maybe they should add like a chapter where you get to play as a villain, like to see the story from the villain's point of view also, because they really focus on the heroes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's only like 13 chapters. I really hope they plan to make more, because if you just cycle through the chapters really fast, you could be done with the entire game really fast, and I don't honestly think it'd be that much fun to just keep replaying. Again, it is a free game, so unless people are paying for heroes or giving money to this game, pretty much, there's not a lot they can do with it, because supposedly this game was created to take over Superhero Squad Online, or what is it? Something like that, I believe. It's more of a kid game, I think.
Something I would like to see on the note of additional chapters, maybe, pardon me, is like maybe a time machine or something, like, because this isn't really within the fabric of reality. I mean, so like maybe a time machine where you could go back and say to like play chapters from each individual hero, villain, to see their storyline. I think that would be something that would be interesting, and that would gather a lot more people, because it's kind of like an interactive comic, and since it is Marvel, they would do it justice, because they don't want to make themselves look bad.
Yeah, another thing I would hope is if they do come out with new heroes, is maybe come out with a hero where the only way you could get this character is from a drop. You can't pay for this character, but you can only get this character as a drop from a specific boss in a specific mission, and that would get a lot of people to go boss hunting on this specific mission. It would make people camp bosses and maybe have the spawn rate rare, but then that makes the characters rare. It makes people want to play this game more. It will make them want to spend time, because there are so big Marvel hero fans in there, and there are people who've tried out this game, and they've their opinion of this game is so great that I feel like if they did something like that, people would spend hours and hours and hours trying to get this character, and it would make the character really rare. And I feel like that's something they kind of need, because one of the issues is there's not as many heroes or costumes in the game right now. They are adding more, don't worry, but as of right now, sometimes you'll see 3 or 4 Iron Mans in an area without a costume, and I think it'd be nice to see other Iron Mans, if there's going to be a group of Iron Mans, or a wider selection of people in an area. Maybe have a clan where everyone looks different, or and hopefully they'll give more personalization to the characters. I know they want to go with costumes that have been seen in the game, or they want to make a few original ones, but I think it'd be nice to actually customize, maybe give them a bracelet, or give them a necklace that's seen on the character, or change it up a little bit, make it more personal to us. I feel like that would add a little more uniqueness to each character, so that way you don't see 6 Hulks in a row that are identical.
Yeah, but you gotta think, if you do that, how many naked Scarlet Witches are you gonna see running around?
Okay, I don't mean that.
Be able to unequip, like if they have armor slots or clothing slots like other MMOs do, like get basic armor drops, like, because when you have your armor on now, like nothing physically changes on your character. But if it were to physically change on your character model, you would have so many naked characters running around, it wouldn't be funny, and it would just turn into the starting worlds of every other MMO.
Well, and that's not exactly what I meant. What I meant, like, there's Spider-Man, and he's a great character, but his outfit is always the same, and maybe they can't take armor off, but maybe you can add a symbol to his suit, or you can change some of the colors,
2 words, Neo Spidey.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just feel like there's so many options that they could do, and you know, there's so many heroes in Marvel that if they add more, they're not going to have this problem as much. But if they don't, if this is all the characters they're going to have, then they're really going to have an issue with having the same heroes all around, because as much fun as it is to play as some of your favorite characters like Deadpool, if you're running around and there's 8 Deadpools around you who just look like you, it kind of takes away from you playing as Deadpool.
You see, I don't really remember, but is it possible to get the outfits as a drops? I do not remember this, but is it?
Yes, you can get them as a drop. You can also buy them. I think, I don't know, it was confusing. When I looked at it for $20, it's you buy a hero, which I actually did because I wanted to try it out, and I messed up. Apparently, you can't get them in beta, so this means when the game comes out, I'm going to start off with Jean Grey's, who I bought, and it says it comes with the character and 2 outfits. Now, these 2 outfits, I don't know if it means it comes with 2 outfits in of the character you bought, or if it's the character and 2 outfits of your choices. I will find that out and I'll let you guys know. But it also, if you buy a hero, it also gives you additional gold in the game to buy other armors or uniforms. So there's also a $200 thing where you can buy all the heroes and all the outfits, and I don't know if that means all the current ones or if this means any future updates. Personally, if you're going to be buying heroes here and there, it might be better just to pay the $200 rather than, you know, paying $20 13 or 14 times for only a couple heroes. I'm not trying to sell it, I'm just letting you guys know that for saving money, it might actually be cheaper to do the $200. It's a $700 value, to give you an example. So if you're going to be spending money to kind of speed it up, it would probably be cheaper to just do the $200.
For $200, you mean? I mean, you'd hope they give you every character that they're going to be adding in the future.
Oh, definitely, and I don't know if they are. I'm fairly sure they're going to have to, because after a while, people are going to get impatient, and people are going to say, hey, look, we really want to play as Gambit. That's probably someone I've heard, and I personally really want to be added. I mean, there's so many great characters they could add. They could add Havoc, Gambit. They could add, I don't even know who all they could add. There's so many characters in my head right now that it's hard to single out on any of them. You know, War Machine. That's another person who, specifically because Iron Man 3 being such a big success, I feel like they could add War Machine and then the Iron Patriot armor. I feel like that would be a great addition to the game itself, because they had an Iron Man 3 beta, and I tried logging in. I logged in for a little bit, and I didn't even bother because there were so many Mark 42 armors running around. It kind of took away. I mean, if they come out with an update and everyone's wearing the same exact outfit, the same character, if the majority of the game is doing it, then it really just gets rid of the purpose at all. Because part of the nice, unique outfits is the feeling of uniqueness. But it's nice because they're actually talking about Daredevil, and they said they were trying to find a new outfit for him, and apparently they took an outfit that was only seen rarely at all in the comics. It was seen once or twice, and they said they had to search for that, and I give them props for that, and I hope in the future we can see a lot of new unique costumes, and a lot of them, so that way people don't all wear the same outfit with the same character.
See, that was one of the things that kind of bugged me when I first logged in, and I was like, I feel like I just walked into an episode of Star Wars Clone Wars, because there's 10 Hulks, 10 Iron Men, 50 Scarlet Witches, and 1 Deadpool. When I first logged in, I was just kind of looking around. I was like,
Well, yeah, and there's obviously like Deadpool being such an iconic character and being such a known character. You're gonna have a ton of people who are gonna want to play as him, and So, it'd be nice to see that stuff, but at the same time, I think it's one of those things where it bugs you kind of at first, but then as you play it, it doesn't matter as much to you, but I still think it'd be nice to have more options.
See, when we first started running around, I really didn't see a lot of people that actually kind of matched us, and out of all the people who were playing Deadpool, I really only saw about 4 or 5 aside from myself.
Well, yeah, I mean, Deadpool is a more of an expensive character because they know they can charge more gold in hopes that people will buy him because there are so many Deadpool fans. And that's the thing with Deadpool is he just recently kind of became so popular, but he's at a stage where they know people will pay to play as Deadpool. He's coming out with his own game soon. They have a trailer in case you guys want to check it out. But, he's got his own trailer and everything for his new game that's coming out, and they know people will pay for that. It's true.
Yeah, you actually showed me the trailer for that one, and I thought it looked freaking awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I've showed other people the trailer for his game, and it's one of those things where, Deadpool's just a lovable character. He's such a jerk, and he doesn't know when to shut up. That's his thing. It really attracts you to him because he's funny.
Genuinely funny, not like, ah ha ha ha, you made a crude joke funny.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think he's the character in the game with the most lines. Anthony played as him, and he was constantly saying how many quotes he has. What were some of your favorite quotes?
I broke that, and I didn't get any XP. Whoa, what a ripoff.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, it just shows you, character-wise, because your characters will talk to you. And it's one of those things where, it's not a big thing, but it's something that, you enjoy. And as Deadpool, you have to have that. Otherwise, it's not really Deadpool. Is there anything else you want to add? We're getting close to about 30 minutes here, so I'm thinking this would be a good time to wrap up. Is there anything you would want to end on?
Also, onto the fact that this is our first post on the Gaming Network channel, TGN. We hope to get some interesting comments from you guys. Ask what you'd maybe like us to do, because we do a variety of different videos. I've played Dead Island, I've played RuneScape, I've played Minecraft, I've played Red Dead Redemption for videos. So, whatever you guys feel like you want to see, just, give us a shout out at it. And yeah, maybe we'll do it and get some good videos out there for you guys. So I hope to see you on our page.
Yeah. Alright, so I think that about sums it up. I hope you guys have a great evening, and let us know what we should do for our next podcast. See ya.